I'm gonna bring y'all over here to the west side with this USC Oregon State game. I seen somebody in the chat. Shout out to the chat, man. We got a lot of people in there. Prince, Razor Sharp, got a lot of old guys and new guys. Dami Gunn, Top Set, D Mills, Brian Stevens, Trans Canada, Major Mills. There was some more in there. Shanita Ham, just a whole bunch of them. I appreciate everybody stopping in with us and checking us out. But this USC team, man, I think is very explosive. I think that everybody's bought in. This is the Ferrari of college football right now, considering how much money they got poured in this team, and the type of athletes they pulled out of the transfer portal, and what Lincoln Riley's over here doing. But at the same time, I would agree that Lincoln Riley, and it usually happens with most college coaches, you carry your bad traits with you. This is a high-power offense, not much defense, or should it say, just like he was at Oklahoma, the defense was always a work in progress. We never could tell if they had really improved or not, because in the big games, we got something different. So this USC team, he speaks of saying that a lot of missed assignments, a lot of miscommunication could be from so many transfer portals adapting to the new coach. So I'm gearing on improvement, like I did last week. And I expect that defense to improve a little more. And I even expect the offense to improve a little more too. This Oregon State team, we really liked this team early against Fresno State. I cashed that one. But, that was playing a small step down to them, being a Pac-12 school, going to play a Mountain West school. But this one right here is more of a big dog of the Pac-12, paying a team that's usually towards the bottom of the Pac-12. But, they got all word is out that they, this and that. And, they did barely pass Fresno State. Then last week they went and played, I believe, Montana State. And they ran all up and down the field on them, so they probably feel good. But I don't think that's going to transfer over to this USC team. That secondary USC team, they like turnovers. They like moving around back there and all that good stuff. So I think the line is way too low. Maybe this should have been 10.5, like the Tennessee game and the SC's game should have switched lines. Tennessee should be minus 6.5, and SC should be minus 10.5 in this one. Bookies, if y'all really wanted some people to buy in, but I like USC at this short price right here, because I don't think you'll get this price. I mean, they play Utah coming up soon. You'll probably get a low number on them, but if they beat Utah and continue to go anything past that, you probably be lucky if you catch a 6.5 until we get deep into the playoffs or something, if they make it that far. So give me SC minus a 6.5. One of my better plays that I like the most of the day, and it's at the end of the day. So no matter what you do at the beginning of the day, hey, you still got a chance at 6:30 with USC.
Yeah, I know. My question was, why is the line so cheap on this game, man? If you go back and you look at Oregon State's win, like you said, 2 Mountain West, they beat Fresno, right? And what was the other Mountain West team they beat? Boise, you said?
No, at the they opened up. I forgot who they opened up against. But they just beat Fresno State. Then they played Montana State, the FCS team, last week.
They got 2 Mountain West wins. But the Mountain, I know the Mountain West is where you do it the best. But Mountain West had a slow start, so with the 2 Mountain West wins and the Montana State wins, we can't get too celebratory. I mean, you're 3-0. That's a good start for them, obviously. But when Fresno, then you can say, well, look at what Fresno went to USC, and they got. They got their dicks handed to them by them, and then we had Hanner got hurt later in the game, and then they didn't score anything in there. I think they were down by 1 touchdown when that happened. But regardless, common opponents, if you use that as a measuring stick there. But I know Corvallis we always hear is a tough place to play, which there's no argument there. But USC seems to have the edge in this series overall. But the numbers concern to me, man. Like I'm looking at the number, like you said, I'm like, this is a game that should have been 10.5, and the other one, been 6.5 in my book. But looks too cheap. Sometimes when things look too good to be true, they are. But I mean, I would have to say USC or pass here. I'm not going to be on it. And I'm not the best West Coast guy when it comes to picking these Pac-12 because I always struggle mightily in the Pac-12. Once in a while, I'll get lucky and hit a game in the Pac-12, but I'm probably going to pass on this particular spot here. But no argument for me. I mean, everything lines up the way you're saying. The only downside is, the road trip to Corvallis. I don't know what the history is there, but I know Oregon State's pretty tough at home. Maybe it's because of Lesser. I don't know who owns it, but it says USC's 4-1 the last 5 ATS against this team, and I'm sure the numbers were a lot higher back in those days too. And you got to attribute the number now to, like you said, the first-year coach. Addison making that move from Pitt to the West Coast. All-world receiver they have there. And the thing I like about this USC team is, you think that there would be an air raid, with Riley, but Williams is doing a nice job of distributing the ball, averaging like 2 touchdowns through the air a game. So, and they're scoring points, so they're not putting the onus on him and Addison. It's just, it's a well-rounded offensive football team. Like you said, the stars coming out, and the defense, they got Grinch. They brought him over from Oklahoma with Riley. So it'll take time to get that personnel up to speed too. So they're going to try to, bring a different style of football out west, not so much the run and gun, but maybe, play a little bit of defense too at the same time. So no argument here. It's a no play for me.
There we go.